I was just crying sitting at the waterfall because I was like, I dreamed of having friends like this for so long, and now I have them and we get to do things like this together.
Why is it that I feel like I can be in a room completely surrounded by people who love me, but still feel this weird sense of loneliness? This weekend there were 6 of us, and a farm stay house a few hours from anywhere, and honestly, a little part of me was dreading it, because I've always been the person who's been really easy to have around, and I don't think I've ever been the person that anyone actually knows. This trip taught me why, but it had nothing to do with my friends. So we're going
to the falls.
Gardner Falls.
Actually, yeah, did we figure out where we're going?
I'll put it in your maps for you.
Gardner Falls, Mullaney for breakfast. We have 4 different breakfast options.
What's your, are you a Google Maps girl?
Yeah.
I'm Apple Maps, is that crazy?
That's fucked.
Yeah, that is fucked.
It's just more aesthetic to me. I just prefer an Apple Maps.
Okay,
No,
you don't
Google Maps all the way.
have the last streaks of Wi-Fi.
Bye-bye.
I've always struggled with emotional closeness with people. And sure, I've had many incredible friends over my lifetime. People I love, people who would drive hours for me without even asking why. But I've always felt like an outsider, or an add-on to whatever group I was in. Relationships have always been so difficult for me to navigate. This weird maze of things that everyone around me could always just get a lot easier than I could. Somewhere in the middle of this weekend, I realised something that I've been doing unconsciously for a really long time. It's that I filter everything before I say it. And there's this little gap between someone asking me something and me answering. And in that gap, I'm not really thinking about what is actually true for me right now. I'm almost computing the best response which would be for that particular person, which version of the answer they'd likely be able to take. I feel like this is exactly why I've struggled so much with feeling close to anyone. Because you can be completely surrounded by friends and people and still not really feel like any of them know you. Which is not their fault at all. I often thought it was. They can only really know the bits that you've handed over. And I've been so careful about which parts I choose to share. Somewhere along the way, I decided that the true me was going to be way too scary or even just too much to share with people. That the hundreds of lives I've lived and all the trauma I've lived in less than 25 years would be way too overwhelming for someone. Or that they'd feel like there was too much of a disconnect between the person smiling across from them now, sitting by the fire, and the person I actually was before that. So I just never shared it. I'd give people a version of myself that was really easy to sit next to, but then I would feel super unknown, which is a problem I have found I've made for myself. We all carry a sort of internal map of our relationships. We have acquaintances, casual friends, close friends, and then a few people right in the middle that are our really close people. And if you're anything like me, you've probably put people in the totally wrong category. I used to think that closeness in friendship was based on things like how long I've known someone, how often I would see them, how much fun we would have together, and whether they showed up for me during a big event in my life. But the real question I should have been asking is whether I could be fully myself around them and not feeling like I had to think about how they would react to that. And when I sat with this, it was quite confronting, because when I used those questions instead of the others, I found that my map got pretty empty quite quickly. There were people that I've known for years and years who slid straight out to the edge of this map. Not because they did something wrong, but just because I had never really let them see the whole me. And I realised that this is where that feeling of loneliness was coming from. Everyone was there, physically, sure, but I had drawn them into the middle of my circle assuming they were close friends, when there was never really anything that put them into that category.
Show us what you got.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck? This is huge.
Oh my
no, this is cooked. Oh my god. Why did you do a whole?
No way, that's so good.
You guys!
I love it.
Damn, Jenna's having to get up on the on the stool to get the photo. Oh, she's up.
There's also like more chippies, popcorn.
Wow.
You guys.
You guys actually killed that.
For like size reference.
Just let me get
it's
a-
like that's my hand, and then that's what we're working with.
For a long time, I thought the way to move people to my inner circle was to spill my entire guts all over them, all my lore, trauma, inner thoughts right off the bat. But that doesn't really work. You can't just drag someone into the middle by handing them everything all at once. I realised that people don't move inwards towards your closer circle of friendship from one big conversation. They move in quite slowly over time because you give them more and more of yourself each time you speak. And that's the part I think a lot of us get wrong. We crave this closeness so much. We want collectivism, we want our village. But being a villager is knowing when to share, when to listen, and how much to share at a time. And you don't really get taught that, and often it can be quite exhausting.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No, 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 no! Oh, she did it! She did it! Oh gosh. Guys, catch the lemon. Probably heaps. Oh, good one.
Do I need any more?
Catch him.
Go on. Chocolate. Don't make no lemonade.
Don't make no lemonade.
Don't make no lemonade.
That came up easy.
What?
Nice.
Wow, so good at catching.
No.
All those years of netball. It has paid off.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
No. Over here it's higher.
that's less road.
Lift the bottom.
But I think the reward is worth it because the people you end up with in the middle of the map are the ones who understand you and actually know you and can accept the wildness of your mind and your dreams without even flinching. But they can also be the roots that bring you back down to earth when you need it. And I think I would much rather have a small, true map than one big, pretend one. And look, I'm still the person who does the whole calculation before I open my mouth. But this weekend I really challenged myself to let the others in. And nobody moved or looked at me differently.